200 stinking miles of stinking desert, and you gotta drive us into a stinking pool of stinking water?
What do you figure the odds are on this?
Stop acting like a dadgum sissy.
Jeez.
This is Film Sack. Oh, sure.
Well, hello there, and welcome to Film Sack. This is Film Sack, mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind. This is episode 670. My name is Scott Johnson. Joined today by Brian. Eye patch guy in the weeds makes him want to do things done away.
Oh, I'm doing lots of things in these weeds, like changing which eye I'm going to put this patch on. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
This week on Film Sack, we Firewalker Texas Ranger our way over to Amazon Prime, looking to carry as many bags of action-adventure comedy gold as we can plunder treasure from. In this 1986 buddy trio starring that roundhouse-kicking martial arts mustache good guy and the no enemy of mine junior guy that I miss already. And hey, is that Flash Gordon's I Ain't Your Booby Slave? Lady doing her best to not be problematic in 2024? I watched this on VHS just in case. Scan lines help the history go down. Anywho, when I am not squatted next to a fire enchanting a python to conjure a roofie-dealing lady to murder my enemies and steal back my red dagger treasure key / ritual sacrifice stabbing device, well, when I'm not doing that, I like sitting around thinking about how I'm going to be walking on the sun soon. Yep, walking on the sun. That's my whole plan. That and forgetting which my patch goes over. Randy, you're the prettiest nut I've ever seen. Oh, did I just make it weird? Okay.
Yes. Scan lines helps the movie go down. Amazing.
Yeah, scan lines helps the history go down for sure, buddy.
I'm gonna keep
got some
that.
Problematic racist stereotypes.
Yeah.
Throw some scan lines on top of that bad boy and go, yeah, this is history.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's one of the greatest quotes you've ever uttered. I freaking love that. We also have with us Randy. The ultimate Chuck Norris joke is that Chuck Norris can't act himself out of a paper bag Jordan.
Aloha, Scott. Brian, thank you for coming. As you know, the reason I've called you here is to set out on an adventure to steal gold from Native Americans. I think that's what we're doing. Let's skip over that part. You come highly recommended to me by a bartender I just met who gave me a password to tell you. And that's going to sound like I'm hiring you for sex. I see the way you're looking at each other like this is a sex thing, but then we don't have to pay off that joke or any joke we start for the rest of our time together. What will we do? What we will do is go up against the most fearsome of enemies, Jim Bro Wayne Newton. And we're going to defeat him as long as you follow my 3 rules. Number 1, you can wear an eye patch over either eye and no one will notice. Hell, you can lift up the eye patch and just use both eyes when you're choking someone out up against a stone pillar. Number 2, don't bother stabbing a man in the back with a dagger. It apparently does nothing. He'll keep on fighting you with a knife in his spine. Ugh. Number 3, when you sprinkle some explosive sand on someone, you get about 10 seconds before it explodes right on cue with the sound of laser guns. Pew, pew.
These are all
So
truths.
true.
These are truths that we must adhere to. With us finally, and probably musically, we have Brian. He always wastes a couple of perfectly good melons to help people see how their beheadings are going to go. Ibit.
It's so true. Yeah, that's bring me the cassavas. All right. Yep. As promised, I probably clipped out there a second. As promised, it is music, and if this film would have done a little bit better, I think this is what we would have heard as the catchphrase for the continuing story of these two fellas.
Wonderful.
I want to say that was amazing. And second of all, I want to say that I was watching the trailer to this movie at the same time you were singing that. I highly recommend it.
Oh, really?
Perfection.
Oh, really? So if I just put this up on YouTube with the trailer,
I think you should.
there we go.
Perfection.
Time it perfectly with We Need a New Plan when their necks are on the log.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it covers that. Almost. If you time it just right, you'll nail it.
I like the next on the log sounds like a great way of saying your neck's on the line. That's better.
And when my neck's on the log, I want to have my friends around me.
Yeah, there's something about that.
When the knife's in my back and my neck's on the log.
Yeah, look out, world, because here he comes.
Experience. I always love karaoke because it teaches me about singers.
Yeah,
like you just find out all kinds of things about singers that you never really thought about until you go and try to do what they do. And like what I love about Huey Lewis songs is that Huey Lewis is such an incredible singer. His range is really amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at least it was in the 80s. I think he's retired now.
Yeah,
but
I think he still tours. But yeah, I don't think it's what it used to be for sure.
Did you have like a moment of surprise making it? This is where it goes.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
It was less about the Huey range on this song because it's pretty mid range, right? And which is good, which is what I looked for. But there's a backing vocalist for all of those verses that is an octave higher that goes, I want a new drug. That sings basically the same octave or same note, but one octave higher.
Yeah.
And I could do the first one, but then on the trucker key change that you get in the second set of verses, nope. So you don't hear those backing vocals on the second verses of either stanza.
That whole "What up, make me nervous?" that thing that way up there.
Yeah,
that's tough, man. I don't know how you pull it
tough.
up.
Respect.
Well,
I'm kind of shocked because I was thinking, you don't usually go with your first idea because that's usually not the best idea. Right. And the first idea I thought she was going to go with Firestarter by The Prodigy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the Firewalker. I'm doing the fire. Yeah. Right.
He probably won't do that. That's kind of outside of his wheelhouse.
That would have been amazing.
I played around with ideas of like gold and fire and stuff like that. And then just that line, we need to plan. I'm like, did he say that more than once? I think he said it. He might have said it when they were in the sand, or did he not? But the fact that it would have been the "I'll be back" of the Firewalker franchise.
Yeah.
I want to get on with the episode, but I do want to say one more thing. For some reason in my head, I've never watched a single episode of Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh yeah, me neither.
But I feel like there's lyrics in that theme song. Is there?
I don't know.
I don't know. Now that you say it,
no?
I don't know.
It's a question.
No, that's a great question. Is there not? What? You know what? We're pulling it up. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. All right.
Walker, Texas Ranger intro. Here we go. Let's get the.
It feels like it'd be a Fall Guy thing.
Let's see what we got.
Well, I'm not the kind you kiss and tell, but I've been walking.
Okay, it comes out. It says Chuck Norris. It's got a picture of him.
No.
All right, so it's just
music. Okay.
It sounds like you could put lyrics to this.
Yeah.
He's a guy on a horse with friends that help him solve crime.
In Texas.
Yeah, my wife liked the reboot of that. The Jared Padalecki
San Antonio
thing.
Walker.
No, it's still called Texas the thing.
I thought it got more specific. Okay.
It wasn't very good in my opinion, but anyway, we're going
to Texas during that show, and I knew a couple that refused to watch it and would not watch it. And it wasn't like it was a big deal in Texas. It wasn't. Yeah. This show was not a big deal in Texas, but I just happened to know a couple that wouldn't watch it because Chuck Norris is an Okie. And they were like, I will not accept someone from Oklahoma pretending to be.
That is the deepest of state loyalty. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's a big thing there, right? The Oklahoma people.
Oh, it is. Absolutely. If you have ever thought that people from Texas dislike California the most, you have never considered Oklahoma. They hate Oklahoma.
There's a really great couple of King of the Hill episodes that address that because I guess there's a place in Oklahoma that was the home of the NFL training camp for a while.
Right. It always boils down to football.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it? Freaking bunch of weirdos. All right. Well, I'm going to let Fake Fletcher explain the movie we saw, which is called Firewalker. And it's a weird one. Honestly, I feel like the AI changes genders mid-sentence. You guys will have to you judge for yourselves, but here you go.
Firewalker! On this week's Film Sack podcast, Max Donigan sets off on a treasure hunt with his friend Leo and newly acquired partner Patricia, who provided the treasure map. Along the way, they encounter a few bar fights, evil coyotes,
and other obstacles they are able to overcome with ease. Oh. When they find the temple with the treasure, they also find the Firewalker, who wants to retain the power of his ancestors and put an end to the trio's treasure hunt. In the end, Max and his two friends persevere and return home wealthy. Doggone.
Yeah, the
sissy.
pitch keeps going up. Interesting.
I know. Isn't that weird?
A little softer sound there in the last.
Even tone the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's
like
a very odd one.
Became Sigourney Weaver a little bit and was telling us about the SeaWorld experience down in Sydney Harbor.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of dead on. I didn't even think about it, but that sounds like her. That's crazy. Well, I don't know. The AI's losing it, and we'll just let it lose it.
Good. Let's go ahead and let it happen. Let's go ahead and
totally fine.
Lean into it.
So this 1986 thing, directed by J. Lee Thompson, is exactly as bad as people think it is. I think. However. It is about
as good as you may remember from the rental market.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's just as fun as we want here on the show. Like it's our kind of dumb. It's the kind of thing I would never want to see without Film Sack. Like it's just, I mean, it's garbage. Like it's like, hey, what if Indiana Jones, and even what if we even got an actor from Indiana Jones doing a very bad American accent? We'll talk about that when I play clips later. But
Yeah, this is less of a romancing the stone rip like we had gotten from Alan Quartermain, which is kind of like, that Romance the Stone / Indiana Jones. This is still down that lineage. It's just a little further down.
This is romancing the stone.
Yeah, romancing the stone, or the love triangle or something.
That's a great title, alternate title. Damn it. That's way better than I wrote down. Anyway, good job. Everyone count that as a third alternate title today.
There we go. Okay, good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Take it.
It's I don't know what it wants to be. It wants to be a swashbuckling adventure about treasure hunting and
it
all
wants
that.
to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what if you are giving into this movie, and at times I really gave into this movie, it's because of the attempt to make you laugh. And like other movies that it's in the same genre as, they allow comic relief to happen, whereas this movie tried to plan the comic relief.
Sure.
A series of bad jokes.
Yeah.
It was almost like they just said, all right, what do we like about those movies, Raiders Lost Ark and Romancing the Stone, et cetera, and they said, let's do a scene just like that. So we've got a crazy sword wielding guy coming at the two of them, and they're just going to use their gun and shoot him. Just basically like, let's just lift some of these things directly from these other movies instead of saying, let's be inspired by them.
And you can see the process while you're watching this movie. For the very first time, you can see the process. You can see like, oh, we're going to just shoot at the guy. Well, you can't just do that. Let's have our Chuck Norris character miss, and he'll just shoot and shoot and shoot and miss. Like that'll be different than
I like that part. I like the incompetent gun wielder who's also into martial arts and stuff. I actually found that they talk about charming, and that's one thing that Chuck Norris actually is pretty good at. He never seems mean-spirited in anything he does. Even if he kicks you in the face, you're kind of like, okay.
But I did. It's one thing I didn't. It never had any real teeth, this movie, because his dialogue was like, "Gall darn it, freaking gosh darn it, we're not getting anywhere with this, darn it." Like he's just like, not that I need him to be a big swear bag or anything, but he sounded like a boring uncle.
That's what Chuck Norris is, though, and I love it because I think he was probably a bigger factor. He was the biggest hit star they had for this particular production company. This is their
for
big
Canon
star.
Films, this is
their big star, and he wanted to, and he was probably one of the first action stars to go, hey, let's do something comedic. And during that age, anyway, because we had our top tier action stars, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, those guys, they weren't really doing comedy yet, but he was just like, hey, I want to do a comedy. I want to do something lighthearted.
Yeah,
and he kind of fought for this.
I don't know if here's the Chuck Norris problem overall. He's really, really good at martial arts in his prime. He barely does any in this movie. There's some really bad choreographed stuff in that bar. It's not good. I mean, it's funny and
kicks.
It's fun to watch, but it's not. This is like having Jackie Chan in your movie now, and you can't do it anymore. And you're like, oh, well, I kind of watched Jackie Chan for the martial arts, and he's charming, and that's
for
nice.
The martial arts, man.
But I would argue that Jackie Chan's a better actor than Chuck Norris. I think Chuck Norris's line delivery is garbage, shit monkey bad. It's
if you
so
consider
bad.
that Jackie Chan is having to cross over language barriers to do his acting, my God, he's an amazing person.
That's what I'm saying.
An amazing actor.
That's what I'm saying. He's an incredible actor, and compared to Chuck Norris, he's Oscar worthy. In fact, he got nominated for that Karate Kid remake, but and deserved it. It was very good. But I'm saying Chuck Norris is just flat out. There's nothing here without the martial arts. There's no career here.
Right.
There's
Right.
nothing. We don't have Chuck Norris jokes without the martial arts. All of this is nothing, because if it was his acting that we were waiting for, it doesn't appear in his entire career. Like, name something where you went,
okay.
Oh,
But
well, it's okay
that's
for
okay.
who? It's okay for people who don't care about acting, I suppose. But
Right. But it's fine, because I feel like Chuck Norris was filling a niche or a niche. It was that gentle kind of humor. It's almost a little bit of a throwback where things were, like, it seemed like it was a little more gentle, not quite as hard hitting. I was down for this because there was a lot of serious movies, and this was a rental thing, and it was just,
It was more like
silly.
he was filling a quarter of a niche, right? He was
There you
filling
go. There you go.
because you need the swashbuckling, you need the got to be attractive to the ladies, you need the strategist, and then you need the fighting, and he fills the fighting very well. Great fighting, sequences in this thing.
I actually feel like the chemistry between him and Melody Anderson is pretty good. It's not bad.
it's not bad. I think their decision to make her kind of grin while she's hypnotized was a bad decision.
Yeah. I like that Chuck Norris was a little bit of a punching bag here. That was good, because he got to be like, he would say some stupid things that were, slightly like, oh, dude. And, and then Melody Anderson's character, Patricia, would come back with something, or Leo Porter, Lou Gossett's character, would come back, and I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Of course you did.
I'm not going to say
This
it's
is
a
what
good
you
movie,
love.
though.
This is what you love. Now, let me ask you, though. You watched it on VHS.
Right.
Did that enhance? I know what you're going to say, but
Of course it did.
It
The little static lines around the sides and the of course.
Absolutely enhances it. I mean, occasionally some of the racist things would get erased because the tracking would go off, and I just miss it and be like, oh, cool.
yeah.
Just kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, because I liked it because I got to bring my nostalgia with me, which enhances the movie, because it's a pretty low-key, boring movie for the most part. I mean, not anything big happens. It's just a little buddy
You're the only
adventure thing.
one of the four of us that's seen it before, I think, right?
Probably.
Randy, have you seen this before?
Before we put it on our list, for reasons that are FilmSack unique, I had never heard of this movie.
Right.
I doubt that I would have even come across it like on my own, and I do a lot of digging for stuff like this.
Sure.
But this movie just has no like history, no prestige. Like I'm shocked that you were able to find an actual copy of it.
You would be surprised how easy these are to find on eBay for
There's
under
a lot of
$5.
people trying to get rid of their copies of Firewalker, turns out.
I think
this
do you think it's
this is a collection padding. This is something you use to pad your collection of movies. It's
This
like
is something that grandma said, oh, he likes Raiders of the Lost Ark. He'll probably like this. I'm going to send him Firewalker for his birthday.
Yeah.
I don't break out Firewalker once a year and watch or anything. Come on.
Yeah, why would you? But I remember being like living in the 80s and seeing Chuck Norris movies in general. Like, wasn't there something called something?
So many Chuck Norris
something
movies.
Squad. I don't know what it was. Some kind of paramilitary thing. Anyway, I would see these movies come and go, and I remember going, "Why, should I be seeing these? Like, 86 is the year you get Predator. Or was it Predator year? Anyway, close to it.
Right.
Should I see this Chuck Norris business? And I would always land on no, because I just didn't, I don't know. There was something about it never really drew me in. I think, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I have a bias against bad mustaches. I truly do.
I don't think you think it's a bad mustache.
Yeah, what
Wait a
makes it
second.
a bad mustache?
I think he has a bad.
This is what the mustache needs to do.
Right?
No, the
Covers upper lip.
entire point of mustache in his case is being accomplished, but he is no Magnum PI. Like, he just nobody can.
It is definitely the second best mustache that we've probably seen. What do you think? Second best? What's another good mustache that we've done here on FilmSack? I think
FilmSack, best
Tom Selleck's no question.
I love this. Let's do a top
Kevin
three.
Kline's got a good mustache.
He does.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
But what do we see him on FilmSack? Let's do a FilmSack list, though.
Is it top 10 mustache, Scott? Is it top 10?
It's
top 5.
Okay, I'll say this: without a mustache, it's frightening. when his.
So that's what's funny. Between the distance between your nose and your upper lip, can seem like a million miles if you don't have a mustache, right?
Yeah, that's true. But Tom Selleck kind of looks good without it too. Like I prefer him with it, but he's still a handsome guy.
I feel like this discussion has to be centered on Sam Elliott and Burt Reynolds, and I will not
sure. That's a good point.
Actually, I'm with you. Yeah.
I don't know. Sam Elliott doesn't even seem like a mustache. The voice is so overpowering. It's just. But I can. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely.
You remember how weird he looked in that Frogs movie? Without the mustache.
It did look pretty weird.
We talked about this the last time we sacked Stacy Keach, and I don't remember what the movie was, but he was shaved clean, and it was like, no, we need a mustache on this man.
Yeah, what was that? I don't remember now. What am I he was in Nobody, and I always think of that, but he had a mustache in Nobody.
I can't stop thinking about Elliott.
Yeah, Sam Elliott without a mustache worked for him in Justified. His brief time in Justified, he had no mustache, and that kind of worked in there for some reason. Right. But most of the time, it's like it should never be a vacant space. That should have hair on it.
Right.
So, but I'm not putting Chuck Norris in the top even 3. He's probably mustache wise. He looks like someone's going to scold me because I smiled wrong or something.
He looks like a teacher, and I love that. And okay, so I watched. Let's get back to what Scott was talking about, which is, did you miss any movies in the '80s with Chuck Norris? Yes. If you missed Missing in Action, you've missed something good. You've missed Delta Force.
That's what I'm thinking of, Delta Force. Yeah.
Delta Force, I like seeing Chuck Norris in those films because I have an argument that I've made for I don't know how many years now, but it's like during his time when something comes up and bubbles up, and it's like. All these action films that were going on in the 80s, it's like, oh my God, they keep copying each other. It's just, stop it. But then when I look back, I'm like, I wish they had done more of them. I wish everybody had a chance so I can go back and go back and watch some of this stuff because, God, if there was another Predator that I had missed during the 80s, I want to watch it right now.
Yeah, you don't want to miss out. I get
this ain't it.
I want to argue with statistics on my side.
Please argue.
This is an actor who has had terribly rated movies, like almost no movies that were positively rated after they were made and reviewed. The two of his and I'm not counting like newer stuff where he's a cameo or he's himself or whatever, but like in the bulk of his filmography, he has 2 movies that are considered good, and that's Code of Silence from '85 and Silent Rage from '82. I don't know anything about those movies. I just know they got good ratings.
Yeah. You're rotten tomatoesing this, and I have to ask the question, which is fine. Which is fine. Which this says Rotten Tomatoes says basically if it's over this percentage, good, and if it's under this percentage, bad. Even if 90% of his films are 49%, right? They still all considered rotten. So
yes,
I think most of his films are right at the middle.
They're all in the middle. They're not on Rotten Tomatoes. They're not. They're almost all below 26% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, those guys are hard to please. But I mean, overall, if you look at right. If you look at the overall reviews in most places for Chuck Norris films, they're like all like 4, 5, 6. They're all like right in the middle out of a 10 scale. They're just
Yeah, and I didn't count. By the way, I didn't count The Way of the Dragon, which we previously sacked.
Oh, did we do that?
I don't personally consider it a Chuck Norris movie. Like he was in it.
No, he's just a sub boss. He's not even really in it.
We also previously sacked The Octagon, which is at 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, and we sacked The Expendables 2, which I'm not counting because I just don't feel like that's a Chuck Norris movie.
No, he was so quick in there too, wasn't it? Just really fast.
But like the best of these, Code of Silence and Silent Rage, they're both at 68%. I want to watch those movies. I want to know why they're good enough, for
that high of a rating. Yeah.
Right. What made those kind of cross the line?
That was 85, so it's just a year before this for Code of Silence. Oh, interesting. It's got Henry Silva. I love him. He's a great bad guy.
Yeah. So don't be surprised if I sneak some more Chuck Norris into your future. What blew my mind about this movie is it's 3 people. It's Chuck Norris, Lou Gossett Jr., Melody Anderson. Actually, you know what? Let's add Sonny Landham too. He's in the movie enough, right? That he's like the 4th main character.
Kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
I can't get over how all these guys are so much older than Melody Anderson.
Oh,
The whole movie. Like Chuck Norris is about 45 when he made this. Lou Gossett Jr. is about 50 when he made this. Melody Anderson is 30.
Yeah.
And it just looks like she's 30, you know?
So Sonny Landham is a year away from Predator. And and in Predator, he's amazing as Billy, one of the great memorable characters.
So good.
Right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's another testament to what directors do. So that he's a good actor in Predator. Like I didn't walk away going, boy, Billy was sure miscast. What a garbage portrayal. Like he's really good in this thing. He's terrible in this. Like he's bad in this. And I don't understand how that works. It's weird to me. And maybe that's what happened to Chuck Norris in your Code of Silence. Maybe he's got better direction and that's why he seems better and that's why the movie gets better ratings or whatever. But this thing just felt like the only actor there with any credentials is Lou Gossett Jr., who also is known for getting a Best Supporting Actor win and then doing nothing but trash movies for the rest of his career. But he can act. The guy knows how to act.
Right.
So there are times where I was like, all right, here we go. There's a dude here who knows what he's doing. Everybody else phoning this shit in ways that I was not prepared for.
Yeah. I think since it's such kind of just a silly, I don't even feel good. It's not even really a word for it. I don't know. Just a low risk, low reward movie. How about that?
Sure.
Sure. I think it's fine. I think it's fine for what it is. Lou Gossett Jr. showing up, man. I think I would do the same. I'd be like, you know what? I can star in a movie with Chuck Norris, and how much will I get paid? That's not much. But what do I have to do? Oh, let's do it.
I want to go a step up the stairs that Dunaway's on. I liked the movie.
Right.
And what I mean by that is I didn't hate the movie.
Right.
And those are often those often rhyme. Like I liked these things about the movie that if they hadn't been there, I would have hated the movie, you know? And like those things are like the chemistry between the actors and the ease with which the story plays itself out. And I don't have to think at all.
Not at all.
That's a really nice way of saying, bare bones.
Thanks for not challenging me. I appreciate you, movie.
No, the writing is terrible. It's one of the worst written movies we've ever seen.
It's terrible.
But I realized while watching it that I can get over that. If there are other things that are worth me like enjoying seeing and hearing. Now the music was also terrible, and I'm like, geez, man, how many hurdles is this movie going to give me? But like, just something about Lou Gossett Jr. He's the along for the ride guy. And he's just I'm entertained.
What about famed Korean actor Richard Lee Sung from mostly MASH is where you know him.
Oh yeah, MASH. Yeah, but you saw him and it was like pointing at the screen, MASH guy.
And he was our bookends. And I mean, if we're gonna just jump right to that, the movie has the craziest trope ending that you could put on a movie. Because it's not a long movie. This is not a long movie, and I had even in 90 minutes I had forgotten about that guy.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I do.
Wait, he tied those up in the desert at the beginning.
Oh my gosh, it's such a. So what is the trope? Is
Laughing Man?
No. The trope is like villain bartender or something. The villain turns around and he was the butler or whatever.
Right.
Like it's just crazy to me because they had a perfectly good ending. Like they're sitting in Fiji at a bar, which is actually probably filmed in Los Angeles, and like you're like, okay, this is a good ending. They're gonna all like ride off into the sunset having a drink, and then this guy.
It was the buddy answer, right? It's the whole movie. They've been setting it up. It's like, this is not working out. We're treasured, but it's hard. We just want to enjoy the good parts of it, and we got to pay off. And you're right. And then,
and it's also a nice setup if there's going to be a sequel. If they're thinking, all right, if this thing does well, then the next. Or maybe he's always the foil to these guys. He's never the main villain in any of the movies, but he's always like we've escaped the clutches of that guy once more, and ha ha ha.
Yeah, I gotta give you guys just a happy moment here of information. So Richard Lee Sung, this actor we're talking about, he was his entire career he was self-proclaimed himself the sex symbol of Chinatown.
I cannot argue with him.
He was born.
I cannot argue with him.
He was actually born in El Paso, which is crazy. So he's American. He served in the U.S. Marine Corps during the Korean War, and then went on to play like 6 different characters in MASH, which is what all the Korean actors did. They all played different characters. Because we acted like we didn't notice. Week to week, we're like, oh, a new Korean guy. Really, it's like the same guy we saw 3 times last season.
What is this, the Love Boat of
he
war
was
movies?
always. It felt like whatever character he was playing, he was always the one who was trying to pull a fast one. Like, oh, I stole these things from your camp, and I'd like to sell them back to you.
Yeah,
Kind of.
That was his thing, right? And he's a little bit of that in here, except he goes from what looks like desert warlord to I own this bar just so I can get these guys back.
Right.
It was a very odd role.
I know exactly which bar they're going to celebrate their win.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm gonna buy.
But I do love that guy. He's great.
I will tell you a point in this movie that almost kind of, it's like, what is this doing in this movie? Is John Rhys Davies
that
scene
was weird
at the end where he's like, he's going crazy because he's going crazy with power, and then as he's waving his friends off, you can just tell he knows this ain't gonna end well for me.
Yeah, like his face changes. I mean, it's showing like what a great actor he is. But
like,
they really don't do anything to pay that off, or
right? Yeah, no. Other than right? You know the answer to it. It's
exactly.
It's wild.
The entire plot of the movie is very simplistic, and surely they knew while making this movie that stealing gold from indigenous people
was, by the way, stealing it hilariously in bags. And dragging them off. And where are they going to go? Where's they going to go with them? But yes, Randy, continue.
It's just weird to me that with that knowledge that this is problematic. Surely people making this movie thought, oh, we got some problematic aspects here. We're gonna fix that through 2 means, and both of them fail badly. One is we're gonna fix it by making those indigenous people seem like bad guys. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're gonna feel okay, I guess, stealing gold from them if they're a little villainous, right?
Yeah, he's rogue anyway, right? He's not real. He's not a real part of the other parts. He's a rogue agent, essentially. This
for sure. Yes. Right. But then the other thing they do is they have an actor. I think his name is Robert Wall. Play an Apache. No. Oh no, I'm thinking of Will Sampson.
Will Sampson's amazing. Yeah. Tall Eagle.
Yeah, they have Will Sampson come into the movie, and they just have him sort of like give a blessing in character to what they're doing.
Yeah,
and it's so gross, man.
I kind of liked it, I think this is his last film. Will Sampson.
It was. It's said in I guess it's in the trivia. Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah, I love how he is watching I Love Lucy, and he's just brutal. He loves Desi Arnaz, but he's ready to cut off Lucy's nose. But it's an interesting scene that goes on with Will Sampson, but I couldn't decide.
He's awesome. I mean, like you go watch something like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or The Outlaw Josie Wales or something, and you're like, man, that guy, what an actor, incredible. You put him in this, and it's just like he's just barely.
Well, because the movie grinds to a halt in his scene. And like the purpose, you have to ask yourself while you wait for this to get on, you have to ask yourself, what is this? Why is this? Why did they make this? Why did they write this? Why they film it? Mm-hmm. And the only answer is to get some sort of indigenous person on the side of your good guys, right? So that it's not
quote,
just
unquote,
it's not entirely a scandal, and it's just like. It's still whoever wrote this movie doesn't know how to write their way into goodness. Like they just it's like they copy and pasted bits from other movies and put them in a random order.
This somehow has 3 writers. I mean, it took 3 dudes to.
Yeah. I didn't get too deep, but I did read a little bit about the writing and how they went about their method and stuff. I mean, it was just basically all of this was just Chuck Norris saying, "I want to do something fun. Make me something." And so they found a way.
Yeah. Canon Films always found a way. I mean, they found that's just what they did. They found a way. J. Lee Thompson, director of this, born in 1914, died at 88 in 2002. Kind of an older guy. But this guy made the Guns of Navarone.
Yeah.
He directed the original Cape Fear.
And I'm now afraid to go back and watch those.
How is it the same guy? I still get it.
Well, it's also when you see writing credits, you just never know. He may have written the original script that.
No.
Chuck
He
Norris
directed
was all-
this. He directed this.
Oh, I'm sorry. He directed it. Oh, I apologize. You're talking about the director.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a direct. He's made Oscar films, like big movies. Like I don't understand where
he's all like, sure, I can show it for a weekend. What do you want from me?
Yeah. I mean, I guess this is true. Every once in a while, you'll see a like a box art for something that like Ben Affleck is in you've never heard of. You're like, why have I never heard of this? It was just last year. Well, what is this? It's just literally just like a paycheck. Sometimes that's just what these guys do. They like a friend's making a movie, or they're like got a contractual obligation to be in a thing that absolutely sucks, but it gets no promo, so no one knows about it. And it's sandwiched in between like two, Oscar direction and Oscar acting, and you're like, when the hell did you even have time for that? Like like all the last 10 things that John McClane has done. I can't think of his name. Bruce Willis.
Oh, Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Yeah.
We apparently found what we watched on Amazon Prime here in the States was a colorized, improved version of this movie. I found
really you did
from the time. Like, I found this review from like 1987 that was like, "Why is this movie not colorful?"
Yeah.
And then it turns out they went back and enhanced it at some point. So,
oh wow,
what we're seeing isn't even as drab as it used.
Interesting. The video cassette I got is not even like the original. It's the best video cassette I've had in a while. I think it didn't come out until 2001, this particular version of the VHS. And you know how when you used to watch movies, they'd have all kind of great trailers and stuff at the beginning. No, this one essentially says video treasures, and then the movie starts. There's no fanfare. It's just, we put this on a video cassette tape so that you could enjoy it at home. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Man, bye bye now.
Went off.
Yep. Look, there's nothing wrong with just a movie because you make it and it's fine. Like it's fine.
It's fine.
These are like at the time. Also, you got to remember we're talking about a time, early VHS time, where you needed to fill shelves with stuff. Like if you were going to own a video store, you needed to have content, and one way to get that was these cheap to make, somewhat famous faces. In this case, with Gossett Jr. and him, and that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true now. I feel like this is less. This is way harder now, and this stuff ends up on YouTube or something.
It's such a glut. We got such a glut. It's really hard to find these kind of low budget, low risk, low reward kind of things out there now because there's just so much content.
It's so easy to make.
I'm questioning about us specifically, and I'm curious if Ibbott is feeling this personally. We have recently watched some really bad movies.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if like maybe a little bit you feel okay, like, oh, this isn't as bad as Omega Doom or Daughters of Satan.
Oh, not even close to it.
No, definitely not. Like this is an improvement, and more for the fact that it's just fun. It's bad, but it's fun bad. Daughters of Satan was just a slog. Bad.
You
some
took
fun
all the
moments,
joy out of life.
Exactly. Yeah. And same with Omega Doom, same with Superfuzz, really, which could have been so much more of a fun movie. But this one at least, it didn't succeed in what it was trying to do, but it succeeded in what it didn't try to do, which is to be this cheeseball thing that really only Film Sack would be the way to enjoy it. I think, Sky, you said this at the beginning of the show. Like, this is the kind of movie that's perfect for us, but my God, heaven help me if I ever had to watch this for any sort of real entertainment purpose.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. My favorite parts of these kind of movies, my biggest memory about these movies, I never watched any of these videos by myself. This was always weekend rentals that might be hanging out with my cousin or something, and we needed something that wouldn't get the parents upset, but would still be kind of fun, And my particular uncle was appreciative of this kind of stuff, and he liked the Chuck Norris stuff, and so it was a throwback for him. So that's how I enjoyed these films, and nostalgia. I brought a big bag of nostalgia with me when I watched this movie. So.
I have no nostalgia for this film, obviously, but I have a lot for the era of film. And it did have some of that. Like there were moments you were like, yeah, getting chased in the desert. That's how we're starting this thing. And then later, we're all driven by gold and treasure. That's fun. Right. We're in a place.
Remember we used to all be so obsessed with sand buggies. Did we? Is that still
totally,
something?
like dune buggies? Sure, yeah.
Dune buggies. We were all like,
Which
obsessed
you have
with
to
that
be
kind of
so
stuff.
careful because the places you go and film those things aren't as big as you'd want them to be. So you have to be very like strategic in placing the camera so that it's like, okay, do you see anything that's not Dune in this shot? And then one of the shots you've got like a mound of clearly outside the dune, some sort of hill with some grass and stuff growing on it that they place the camera on. It's like, all right, well, why don't you just drive towards that? Because that obviously is is a way out.
She, this actress, what's her name? Sorry,
Melody Dale Arden.
She's
Melody Anderson.
She's Manimal's girl.
She quit working in the 90s. 95 was her last thing. So I can't find anything else. She's still around, but I'm always surprised by that. The men in these things, these older things, they're all still working. Chuck Norris still does shit. And the women don't. And it makes me think that we're way too hung up on how women look when they get older. I think that's it.
Absolutely. This has been a complaint. Sure. I mean, this is, women have been, lady actresses have been complaining about this for forever, decades, because it's true. We, it's like once you get to a certain point, it's like, nah, we're not interested as the audience. And so,
you're not hot enough for the demographic or whatever. But hey, Jeff Bridges, I know you're, basically an oak tree at this point, but come on back. We're ready for more. Right. And I don't have a problem with that, but it is weirdly uneven.
There's also a masculinity ivory tower where if you're successful as a man, you turn around and lock the door behind you. And you just like, you keep getting older and making the same stuff and being the one that we call for because we want to see more of you. And so like it becomes increasingly more difficult for young potential stars to get a break because they're competing for roles with people who are in their 40s but are very, very successful already, very well known already.
Sure.
And like there's this, it's weird to me, like when there's a Brad Pitt George Clooney movie coming out soon.
Is there?
Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves.
Oh, yeah. Kind of want. I hate how that sounds, but I want to see it.
I do too.
Because it's supposed to be wolves.
Yeah.
It's like that's how it works for actors, famous actors, right? Like they just keep doing this for the rest of their lives. And, like they are preventing the younger ones from these opportunities.
Yeah, it bums me out a little bit. Ibbott posted her website where she does some empowerment video stuff and all that. I was looking at
just some clinical social work. Like she's moved into a really like legitimate helpful role.
Yeah. The problem is the website's like, hey, every month a new message. Hey, this and that. Well, she hasn't posted anything for about a year. She only has 14 subscribers. I feel bad.
A little pod fading there by Melody.
Yeah.
Whatever. She's got Manimal money, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I do like how she's used the logo from Flash Gordon though, like as her own logo.
Yeah, up top it says Melody and then Flash Gordon Lightning Bolt Anderson.
Yeah.
I think she did tour. I don't know if she still does conventions or not, but she did conventions for a while.
Oh, did she? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think she's good enough. Like actor wise, she's one of the higher points of the movie.
Oh,
yeah.
I think she's good. And so it just bums me out that. Well, I guess Lou Gossett Jr. is dead now, but he had a pretty good older run. His role on the Watchmen show on HBO was so good.
Oh yeah,
freaking amazing on that. And Chuck Norris, still out there doing his thing. I think.
Here's a question I have for you. So this movie, I'm really forgiving of the movie because I'm for some reason seeing through what the bad parts of it and I'm willing to say, well, I can see what it's going for. There's potential here, and I'm giving it credit for the potential and it's a credit I don't give to most movies. And I'm just curious, does anybody know why? Why is this movie charming me?
Right.
Again, I think it's the motif, it's the era, it's the Romancing the Stone, Indiana Jones kind of vibe. I think it's just you're vibing off
like those other things. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're vibing off the fun. I think there's a fun factor.
Doesn't take itself too seriously. Knows that it, is always like on his heels going, we get it. We're goobers.
Yeah.
We get it.
So
it's hard to hate somebody who's like self-deprecating essentially.
Sort of. Yeah. Although I thought, again, his joke delivery in this, just rough, dude.
I actually, his joke delivery and his dedication to keep doing it kind of actually is charming to me. It's like, oh, you're not landing any of these.
Keep going.
Well, no, but it's not like he's getting feedback right away. He doesn't have an audience that's going to like, all right, my jokes are working. It's,
right. I don't know, man. None of these are landing. He's got to know it, though. He's got to know when he says it. It's like, no,
well, maybe, I mean, obviously he's not writing the dialogue, but there's probably people on set who are just cringing and just holding their tongue. It's like, all right, we're here at the behest of Mr. Cannon. We're going to make this movie.
Mr. Goal and Mr. Globus.
Yeah. That's just the way of it. By the way, this is, I think, peak Norris, this photo I'm giving you guys right there.
It totally is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus, I just think
that's awesome.
I think the greatest benefit in this movie would not be the paycheck, but it would just be to show up these fun sets of, getting to ride around in some kind of desert and getting on those stupid buggies. Somebody decorated all those buggies, man. That is somebody's life work out there, decorating a buggy that Richard Lee Sung will show up in.
Yeah.
And just fun sets, bar sets where a big burly guy, twice as big as Chuck Norris. I didn't realize how small Chuck Norris was either until it's like the guy was facing off against the guy in the bar, and it was like, oh, Chuck Norris is kind of small compared to this guy. And you're like,
it's easy to duck under punches, though, right? When
right.
So you can just go zoom and then hit him right away with a little.
Randy, that has to have a name, right? That's got to have a trope name for the big guy in the bar that you punch and barely gets phased, and then he tries to kick the shit out of you. I mean,
for sure.
It's the big bald guy next to the plane in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, Yeah.
Indy has to basically grind with the propeller to finally.
And they do that joke every Indiana Jones movie. They get a big guy.
Yeah.
And often it's the same actor. It's the dude, the guy from the guy who played the German guy is the guy that played the big Indian guy they ended up in the Rock Grinder in the second movie.
Yeah. In Temple of Doom?
Yeah, same dude. I love it. And he may have been in 3, but I don't remember who.
I love
Nazi.
looking up actors' heights, and they're you're filled with lies.
Right.
Because if you look up Chuck Norris, it says he's 5'9". No, he ain't.
No, he ain't. That guy's 5'6" tops.
Yeah, 5'6". If you look up Sylvester Stallone, it says he's 5'10". I'm sorry, I've stood next to the man. I've looked at the man eye to brow. He's not.
Why do you think people are so weird about that? Is it just a vanity thing? Is it like a stature?
Yeah.
Okay. Because as a tall person, there's a lot of things that are annoying about being tall, and I've always wondered why people who are shorter have an issue. But I guess I don't.
Because really, the worst thing they ever say about us is beanpole. But you look at jokes in the 70s, Love Boat and roasts and TV shows like sitcoms and stuff where there was a short person, and it felt like every joke was at the short person's expense, and they never made jokes really about the tall people.
That's a good point.
I am now deep diving into Miguel Angel Fuentes, who is our big guy in this, and I want to watch everything he's been in. What is this? The Puma Man? Oh, I am down. He's like facing off with a UFO in this other one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what is this I'm looking at?
I don't know, but you're on the hunt for scan lines already. You're going to find it.
Yeah, I mean.
And he was that actor had some kind of condition, right?
Oh,
right. Looks like he
a
had some kind of gigantic.
a touch of gigantism
or something.
Right.
Oh, like Richard Kiel. Yeah, that's a good example.
Right.
Because he had something going on there.
Yeah, there's a thing about the shape of their face that you could look and go, oh, I'll bet that person's 7 feet tall by way of some condition.
Yeah. I'm finding some really magical photos.
You're finding some great photos.
Yeah. I didn't realize how much there is to trove out there, and there's a lot, dude, and it's all good.
Oh, Chuck Norris was the first meme that I ever encountered when I got on the internet. So I was like,
why do you suppose that is? Why is he such he's early internet meme guy?
Because we all recognized that it was ridiculous that we portrayed him in films that he could defeat anybody. He was, he was impossible to defeat. And that was just like
every joke in the not the Badlands, whatever that area of World of Warcraft, that zone you start off in when you're at orc.
Oh, Duratar.
Baron's chat.
Yeah, You're right. You're right. That was lest we remind ourselves 20 years ago. So
yes, yeah.
Jeez Louises.
Crazy, right?
It was a little rough on some of the stereotypes. We've talked about that a bit. Dunaway thinks scan lines maybe helped it a bit, but
it helped a little bit, if nothing else.
Making Native Americans basically evil wizards, and the Mexican stereotypes are a bit much, and all that. I do think there is something though about when we see this sort of stuff here as a team.
Right.
I think we have a pretty healthy understanding of that was then, this is now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure.
I'm not going to get all fired up about it because I didn't when I was a teenager in 1986. This wouldn't have even been a blip for me. I mean, I'm a white kid from Utah. I'm not going to see this and go, I'm so offended for these Native American magic people.
It is so hard for me because we're kind of close to a lot of, in our area, we have access to several Native American places that you could go to and meet real Native Americans. And they've been so swallowed up by our own, non-Native American culture that I just always feel uncomfortable talking about on behalf of what Native Americans feel, because I feel like it's such a breadth of different types of people that I don't know. It's like I have no business at all talking about what I should think they should be called or anything else. Whatever someone says I should call them, I should call them.
Read what they say though, and
I have,
and
but
hold
even
on to
that,
it,
But I've done that as well. But I've read and seen videos, and there's just as much variety there as in any other walk of life. And it's like one individual says they want to be treated like this, another individual says they want to be treated like this.
That's the whole whole problem, right? With deep culture is that it's deep, and we don't have so all we see is surface stuff. And in the 80s,
respect as I can do.
In the 80s, well, maybe even there are other eras that are maybe worse, but in the 80s, at least they were hiring Native American actors to play these roles, as opposed to the 50s where they were hiring some white guy and painting his face brown.
Right.
Or the 2010s, like you said, that was then, this is now. The Ridiculous Six was made in 2015, and it's got terribly problematic portrayals. Not a Native American actor to be found anywhere in that movie.
Oh, really?
It's like we're maybe kind of coming out of 100 years of terrible treatment in film.
The Adam Sandler obligation films for Netflix. Would you say that is one of the better ones? Are there ones you recommend?
It's terrible.
Among? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything in there that maybe I just haven't seen any of it. I've only seen.
I haven't seen any of them, and I'm wondering. No, I take that back. I did see the one with Aniston, Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, what was that?
I can't remember the name of it.
Jennifer Aniston.
I actually recommended one not too long ago.
That was Murder Mystery.
Okay. Yes, that's it. Murder Mystery.
How was that? That seemed like it was okay. That was
all right. That was okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but the one
he's got whatever contract he has. It looks a lot like Zack Snyder's contract. It's just like, hey, Netflix, I owe you 5 movies? Okay, let's go ahead and get those done.
Right. I mean, looking at the list, it's The Do-Over, The Ridiculous Six, Hubie Halloween, Sandy Wexler.
Hubie Halloween.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Was the wrong Missy one of those two? I think
probably.
What the hell? Sorry,
of those, the one the one I want people to watch. What came out last year? It's called "You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah."
Okay.
Because it's just nice. It's a nice movie, and Adam Sandler isn't the star of the movie. He's just the dad,
Right.
And like that's where he belongs. He makes a few jokes, and the movie is actually about a teenage girl and her life, and it's funny.
Okay, I'm going to throw out a complaint here because
do it.
Yeah. When you with a lot of streaming services, when you click on the little title panel, you should go to a screen that lets you know more, right? Like, and then you can hit play from there, right? Like
that would be ideal. Yes.
Netflix, no, you have to hover over the panel and then click the little down arrow to get more details. And it's like, no, I want to know more. I don't want to start the film and now it's going to be like, hey, are you ever going to finish You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah? Because I played 5 seconds of it before I could find the escape button.
I hate when
full agreement, by the way, fully agree.
Right, absolutely full agreement. I hate when functionality is interrupted by necessity for income for the company. And that's exactly what's going on. They don't want it to be easy because they want you to go down this path. They don't want you to do it the logical way.
Oh yeah, no, it's like cancellation. Some of these sites are amazing with how they sign you up. Ease of use. Yeah. Get in there away. Beautiful experience. I'm in. Okay, let's go. And the minute you want to cancel, Where is the long 400-foot freaking trail of tears?
This is nothing new. I mean, anytime you go to a park or something, lots of times it's easy to, well, it's not necessarily easy to get in, but going out, they're always going to try to sell you something. How the hell do I get out of this place?
Yeah.
Why is it a maze to leave here? Why am I walking through a gift shop right now? I just want to leave.
Welcome to IKEA.
Function.
Yeah, welcome to IKEA. Exactly. It's a weird thing.
I love this cast list for You're So Not Invited, My Bat Mitzvah. Idie Menzel, Jackie Sandler, Adam Sandler, Sadie Sandler, Sonny Sandler.
Yes.
There's some Sandlers in
It's
it.
a family affair in there. Jeez Louise.
Yes.
While we are talking about streaming services, I think probably we're in a good time for making less problematic things, because there's not as many necessarily. There's a more variety of gatekeepers now. Back whenever a lot of these films that we review, there were only so many movie studios, and whoever was in charge of the money made the decisions about who was in the films, and now it's just so much variety.
So much variety. You're right.
I love the variety.
That's it. I do too. That's the other thing, is as a consumer of it, and as one of the people that is not so culturally understanding or whatever. I didn't grow up on a reservation. I don't know what life is like there. The fact that I can watch Reservation Dogs and get this amazing comedy, this incredibly heartfelt portrayal of these kids and others living there, like that's great. That's what I love about our modern thing. We can complain all day about, there's too many services and it's like cable again. And blah, blah. It's easy to go down that road, but it's an embarrassment of riches, and it really is riches. There's amazing stuff. And there's some trash too, but not any more than Dunaway going through the Walmart bin for VHS and things.
Right.
At the same time,
that's a lie. I don't crawl through those anymore.
Okay. All right.
At the same time, Scott, there's a counter argument there, which is everything is so money driven and bottom line decided that you don't get as much as you should.
That's true. There could always be more. Sure.
There's 3 short seasons of Reservation Dogs instead of 30 different series of that type all over the place. Right. And it's because bean counters aren't seeing a big enough audience for it.
Right.
And it's it's a circular argument, right? Like, there's not a big enough audience for it because it doesn't exist. You have to make it, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, we're not going to make it because there's not a big enough audience. Well,
we want money now, not later. Come on.
We should consider ourselves very, very lucky to have gotten 30 episodes of Reservation Dogs.
I agree.
But there should be more. There should be a lot more.
We just watched the episode, by the way, third season episode, third or fourth one into the final season. That's all about the Native American boarding schools. Oh my gosh, that is a rough freaking episode.
Mm-hmm.
And Tina's like, this season is so much happier than the previous one where the kids are heading to California. And then we get to that episode, it's like,
where did the happy go? It fleed.
And if you want to see another great Indigenous people show, Dark Winds is amazing. And I just was reading that AMC just the thing just did not perform that well on AMC alone, either on cable or later on their streaming services. So that's why it's currently on Netflix, because AMC's thinking is like, well, I think some of these things just get seen because it's on Netflix. Like, that's just they're the leader. It's what it is. So let's put that stuff over there. I think that's really smart of them. I hope it means more. That's another show that's like not nearly enough episodes. I think it's 14 total episodes of that thing, 2 seasons. Amazing show. And it's all about life on reservations. It's set in the 1970s. It features that actor.
30 seasons of 90 Day Fiance. Oh, I'm sorry.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like,
that's your point. Yeah.
I feel so lucky. Like that episode of Reservation Dogs, Dear Lady. It's the woman who plays Dear Lady is Kanya Teo Horn, who plays Tanis in Letterkenny, and she's freaking amazing.
She's great.
Just absolutely amazing, and gives it such a Canadian connection. And the subject matter is very Canadian in addition to very American.
I've noticed in Canadian productions that the Indigenous people of Canada end up in more shows just randomly than they do here. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that, but you'll be just watching something like Degrassi Junior High, and 8 of those kids are Indigenous kids, or you'll see, like you were just saying, like Letterkenny. It's like, oh, okay, well, there's a number of people of color.
And they're the fourth gang in Letterkenny, right? There's
Right.
there's the farmers. There's the what are
the goth kids, whatever they're called.
The goth kids.
Yeah.
There's the redneck weird. What are they called?
I forget the name. I forget the name. I love them all though. All the theme.
How dare you forget the indigenous people of the trailer park?
No, the indigenous people are the fourth gang of people in Letterkenny, and no one is ever treated with a lot of respect in Letterkenny. Right. Everybody's got problems.
No, Letterkenny is an equal opportunity. Everyone kind of has a shitty life.
Defender.
Yeah, it's great. I love Letterkenny for that reason, and a lot of other reasons, but that's the main one. Hey, so, I was going to say one other thing about stereotypes in this movie. The girl played by, I forgot her name already. Shit.
Manimal.
Melody Anderson.
Manimal Anderson.
Manimal Anderson. Melody.
She's basically what's her name in Temple of Doom, right? I mean, that's the character.
Really Scott.
Yeah, not in that she's the instigator of here's my map, I know where the gold is, but more like, ooh, pretty, I'm going, let's go. And then getting into trouble and having men have to save her. Although I will say she was a little more independent in this, and I liked that.
Oh, dude. Yes. Yeah. I mean, she was saving Chuck Norris because he got roofied. And
right. Absolutely. Way less the damsel in distress. She figures out the way to get into the thing. She sits in the
she kills
the throne that definitely inspired the TV show The Voice.
Oh, yeah.
Spins around.
Wouldn't that be great? Somebody on that team says, hey, here at The Voice, we'd like to thank Firewalker. Yeah.
I want to explain something to you.
Inspired our chairs.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I loved, I love cave scenes where people are trying to get past traps and boiling waters
like the caves
all that
in this
stuff.
Movie were a little too complicated.
They were very complicated, and I was actually a little annoyed that we didn't get a chance to explore them a little more. I felt like that was a really cool place to be, and they just kind of quickly threw to it.
You need to have a pocket full of mini flashlights that you drop as you go, because actually you don't, because they're the most brightly lit interior that have ever existed.
Yeah. It's cave was somehow with fluorescent lights on top. Somehow.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
But that's fine.
Do you guys want to know what I thought was
gross
in this movie?
I have a very easy guess.
Go for it. What do you think it is? What do you think it is, Brian?
Is it Chuck Norris taking the gum out of his hand and putting it in Louis Goss's Jr.'s hand?
Congratulations, you're the winner.
Yeah, like the easiest one we've ever had of those.
I've never in my life been more immediately repulsed by a move than that. Like, don't do that.
Portray sticks of gum in film anymore like we used to.
No, not even close.
It'd be a piece of the movie.
Yeah, and they would use it. They'd use it for like MacGyver reasons. Like, we need to jimmy a lock open and then hold it open. How do we do that? Well, I got gum, so I'll stick it in there. And
I guess use it to determine whether or not we were going to kick somebody's ass. It's like, I'm all out of bubble gum. I guess it's time to kick some ass.
People used to be addicted to gum, right? Like, you used to know people who were always chewing gum every day.
Violet Beauregard.
I feel like my own relationship with gum, any kind of gum, has just dropped precipitously over like the last maybe 10 years even. I just don't chew gum anymore. I just never do.
I think when they diversified away from sticks and started going into cubes and everything else, I think they made a mistake.
Well, I also think I have dental work I'm always paranoid about. So I'm always worried.
I think that's probably more true.
Yeah. I have like a crown that if I chew wrong, it's coming off. So I don't want to do that.
I tried not to dig too deep in the movie because I was busy adjusting my tracking on the VCR.
Of course.
But like when, so did they ever explain why Sonny Landham is so intent on becoming the sun walker that he wants to walk on the sun? I'm like, what exactly does that get you? What is that? I mean, why do you have to murder people to go walk on the sun?
It's the ultimate power, man, to be able to walk on the sun. I mean, I could never tell if they were being literal or metaphorical with that.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they really were setting him up to be magical Indian wizard, that's what they were doing. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with like maybe exploring that stuff in an 80s kind of way, but did he literally mean walk on the
I don't think so. So I only seen this once, didn't pay close attention. But my understanding of the way the story was told was that in the distant past there was a demigod named Firewalker, and people gave their gold and treasure to that demigod as tribute. And then the demigod Firewalker had some powers. And Coyote at least believes that he can obtain those powers through human sacrifice.
Okay.
Interesting.
So-
but he already had a whole buttload of gold with his multi-dagger key slash.
And the crazy thing is that they so easily find Firewalker's Temple of Doom. How did no one else already find this?
Well, Melody Anderson was having the peyote walk or whatever it was. She was dreaming. She wasn't just some airhead that people met. She was actually in tuned with something, right?
Right. She has psychic powers.
Right. Okay, I got you.
Okay.
That's just straight up trope of a character has psychic powers.
There are old people in here sleeping.
Dead people. I did kind of enjoy those stupid things. It's a Cyclops red man. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's gonna have a patch. That guy's gonna have a patch. Whoever wanted to watch is gonna have a patch. Yeah. There he is.
Yeah. She's good at seeing the future. She's just not good at understanding the future.
Interpreting things. Yeah.
Totally. That stuff. I don't know. I could have used a little less of the I've killed the boss once, but he's coming back later somehow.
Sure. By the way, that boss, El Coyote, only has one move, by the way, and it's basically push your head up against the wall, and I've got your nose. Got your nose.
Yeah, it didn't even feel like he was killing them. It just felt like he was annoying them.
Just smashing, pushing their face into the wall.
Yeah,
I've got the back of their head.
It's something like what you do to your brother when you're growing up or something. It wasn't even like a.
But I guess it was his go-to move. Like there was nothing more painful than watching Indiana Jones, that second one where he's trying to reach in to pull his heart out, and it's like, oh my God, that's so painful.
Yeah,
so scary that someone could reach into your chest. It's ridiculous, of course, but.
That was
so scary, but I guess that was kind of their take on it.
Well, I mean, that was what 2 years prior to this. This felt inspired by all kinds of other things, you know?
Yeah.
They're clearly like, hey, let's take advantage of the thing. We'll even get what's his name to do our cover of our poster, and
Drew Struzan.
And that guy,
I loved the cover box.
He's amazing. He's so good.
Movies level. So much, sadly, for me, falsely. Like it absolutely, it's lipstick on a pig, unfortunately.
Yeah. Holy crap! Look at that Chuck Norris. He's a true action star. He's chewing that cigar.
This has to be good. They've got Drew Struzan doing the movie poster. It's got to.
It has to be good. The trope of the old friend that they meet along the way is played by John Rhys Davies. It has to be good.
Corky. What a great
name.
And Corky tries to talk like he's all, I've been down here with these people for a long time. It's like,
by the way, he's a double trope. He's the trope of the old friend that you run into on the way.
Oh my gosh.
And he's also the trope of the wacky wayside tribe. And the wacky wayside tribe, you have to use very carefully. You can't just dump it in to a movie.
And we saw that in the Alan Quartermain movie, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Did we?
Same stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We did. And he was in that. No, wait, not that. He was in King Solomon's Mines, which we also saw, didn't we?
Right.
Oh, really?
Which one did we see now? I'm forgetting. I've seen both of them.
Man.
Which one do you see here?
Hold on.
We saw Alan Quartermain in the Lost City of Gold or something, I thought.
We did. And then we saw... What did I just say? The other one
as well?
It's King.
I don't know if we saw it here, but I've seen it. I've seen all of it.
We did. We saw King Solomon's Mines back in September of 2022, 567, and then Alan Quartermain. Wait, how do you spell Alan?
Just put Alan.
There's so many Allens, man. There's two L's. There's A-N. There's E-N.
I think it's just A-L-N, right? It's just
A-L-A-N, yeah.
The most simple, basic way of Alan.
What was that one called? The Gold of...
the Gold.
Lost City of Gold?
Lost City.
Was it boiled in a big pot? What was it again?
It is two L's, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, is it?
Oh. Yeah.
E-N or A-N?
A-L-L-A-N.
There it is. King Solomon's Mines, 567.
Nice.
Also 2022. Oh, no, that's King Solomon's Mines again. Oh, maybe we just... Maybe that was... maybe we didn't do the other one. We've only done the one.
Yeah, that was it was the Richard Chamberlain one. So it was we either saw King Solomon's Mines or Alan Quartermain, Lost City of Gold, which were the two.
I swore we saw Alan Quartermain, but maybe I don't.
We
completely forgot at this point.
King
What was
Solomon's
the
Mines.
Selic-
We definitely did. King
What was
Solomon's
the
Mines.
Selleck thing that was like that?
Oh, Quigley Down Under?
Quickly down under.
We didn't. Did we do? We did quickly down under. I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh shit! April of
We've done a lot
2021.
of bad movies.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a real block there for movies that we did during the pandemic that I just block.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't
That's
know.
when I remember them the strongest.
That's why I don't know.
Oh, funny.
That everything
Yeah.
about that era is confusing to me, but that in particular is a weird one. Okay, real quick here. Do we have a? I just didn't want to get off the Drew Struzan real too quickly. But outside of anything Star Wars or Indiana Jones related, do you have a favorite Drew Struzan poster? I have one, but I want to hear everybody else's.
I'm going to pull up a list or pull
I'm
up.
about to say I don't know off the top of my head. Let's see.
While you're doing that, I'll tell you my
know.
favorites. My favorites are two that are tied. I think that the Shawshank Redemption poster is amazing.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And I think that his the Thing poster is iconic.
Oh, the Thing may be my
with the light spiking out. His Blade Runner that I'm looking at right now is amazing.
Oh yeah, Blade Runner's good. Shit, that's right up there. Yeah, I mean, he didn't make a
that
bad
original
one.
Star Wars poster too, or whichever one it was when it came
Yeah.
back out again. That alternate Star
Yeah,
Wars poster where it was
the new
with the land speeder and everything.
re-releases and stuff. Those were all great. Yeah, I have one on the wall right now. I have his Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, I don't like the Back to the Future one. Can I go with the one I don't like? How about that?
You don't like Back to the Future? It's amazing.
Not this
poster.
particular one. There's almost like I'll see the one I'm not looking
the
at.
circular, the circular one with.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't like
yeah,
that.
I'm kind of with you.
That's
yeah.
bullshit.
Okay.
I was like, I'll put that in the Discord.
Let me see.
here.
I only know the one where they're outside the car.
I know good ones. This one sucks butt.
Because he did the ones outside the car too.
Talk about phoning it in.
Wow, look at that. Is different, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, you threw me with that one. Jeez Louises.
Hey, yeah, you can.
I like his, I forgot about Ready Player One was his. That's good.
Yeah, he's still doing new stuff even. He's all-timer, man, that guy.
I had a collage as a kid of Drew Struzan movie posters for Muppet movies.
Oh, that's good. Muppet movies.
And like his posters for various Muppet movies were all kind of like the group of them all grouped up, and they're all looking very pleased with themselves.
Yeah.
And then there's some background that's the setting of the movie.
Yeah.
And I wonder what happened to that. It was a collage of I think 4 Muppet movie posters.
Yeah, but is this I love the Muppet ones as well. They're really good. Is this the Blade Runner you were talking about?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, it's really
Isn't that great? Like
Yeah.
the color
Oh, yeah.
used on that is so
and
cool.
it's a full bleed too. It's all the way to the hell out.
I would love having that up on a wall somewhere.
Yeah,
That's
for
really,
sure.
really awesome.
But according to Firewalker, at least we know he didn't have to like the movie to do it.
Yeah. He's like, give me the story again. That doesn't make any sense. Try again. Come
I
on.
forgot he did this. Here you go. I forgot he did the
the crocodile.
the Crocodile
Oh,
Dundee
the Crocodile
movies.
Dundee also elevated the movie.
You think so?
Elevated the movie. Because they're
Big Trouble in
giant in
Little
a
China is
city.
Good.
How great is that?
Yeah, the guy's he's all timer, man.
He's a beast.
It really is.
All right, you got anything else before we go to our clips for this film?
Only other thing I wrote down, well, I wrote 2 things down. This one I tried to work into my song and I couldn't figure out a way to do it, but the suspense is boring me.
Nice. This is boring me.
That's good.
I did. Go ahead.
And then I also wrote down, do we think Chuck Norris knows how to swim? Because that scene where the
he does the doggy
Volkswagen
pedal.
Yeah, I think he might be walking on the ground and moving his arms to make it look like he's swimming. When the Volkswagen sinks in the river, it does not look like he's swimming. It's like
there's definitely an intention there, right? There's a bunch of winking at the camera, and I'm like, am I supposed? I'm not getting the joke, Chuck.
Yeah,
I'm not getting the joke. Is it your doggy paddling? I'm not getting it.
I'm not understanding, Chuck.
All right. But I understand. Got to try harder.
Did he
I
get
didn't
his
talk
mom?
about
His
it.
mom probably called him Charles, right? That probably was a thing,
right? Chuck
Charles Norris. That's boring.
Charles Norris, Charles Mayhem Norris, get in here.
Sure.
No, I didn't mention it here, but I did mention it elsewhere. I like getting video cassettes in that are used, and I like seeing when they have not been rewound because I like trying to see where they stopped.
I love that. That was such a great TikTok. Like, what was the moment that they said, "Yeah, this is going on eBay"?
Click. They ejected it. Now, the first scene that comes up when I played the video cassette, when I just put it in, was when they're leaving the train dressed up as the priest and nuns. And so the previous scene was a really weird scene, and I kind of could see why. It was the final scene where it got serious for a moment because the local militia had stopped the train and was searching the train, and they had pulled somebody aside and was asking for papers, please. And they ended up killing the guy.
Right.
Turns out this movie's too good for that. Chuck is not having it.
But he's not really dead. Yeah,
he's not really dead. It's all right. He's not really dead. And I think that was the final straw for somebody. It was like, click, eject.
Eject.
Yeah. I'm not even rewind it.
We got 45 minutes in. It was funny because I saw that video cassette and it looked like it was the actual tape was about, it was right in the middle. But like I'm used to seeing way more tape in a cassette, right? Like it looks like it looks like that thing is only 100 feet long and is the entire movie.
If you've ever gotten a cassette and you feel raw, they all had like a similar size with the spools. Typically, they're about the size of a quarter.
Right.
But every once in a while, you get a video cassette and it had the big giant spool in the middle. That's like the size of 3 or 4 times as big, and I always felt robbed there. I'm like, what is going on? You guys recorded this in y'all guys recorded this at the lowest quality, and you used as little tape as possible.
That's how it felt.
Jerks.
I hated being able to see it. Like that's why I liked it when DVDs and even Laserdisc came along. I was like, I don't know what's on here. We're good. Let's go.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Just play it. Put
Ones
it in.
And zeros.
Hit play. Go. 480p. Wee.
I don't have to rewind either. Yay!
All right, let's get to these clippies. And we got a few here. Let's start with this one. I labeled it, "This is the kind of humor you're in for when you watch this movie."
Watch, he'll probably say something stupid like, "So, gentlemen, we meet again."
So, gentlemen, we meet again.
See?
See? You see? Hate it. Okay, I found some old audio from Us. This is time we all went to an island. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the 4 of us were at an island, and this is what Ibbott left the rest of us on the island. I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but it was
probably go to prom. I had so many to go to.
Yeah, I know you had so many proms to go to, but it wasn't our happiest moment. But here it is, caught on tape.
In 3 hours, your flesh will begin to blister.
This is you, by the way.
2 hours later, your tongues will swell. And all that time, you will be holding the liquid of life in your very own hand.
And you'll still be bald.
Oh, we really got you back there.
That was wrong, Scott. That was rude.
What the?
I couldn't help it.
Why are they tied? Why are they tied to stakes where they could just lift their hands and get away?
I mean,
they were very
be hammered deep. Those stakes.
I'm assuming so. Deep stakes.
Yeah, but deep stakes in sand, they never gonna hold very long. They
just lift it up. Once he's out of sight, they escape so easily. Yeah. Like it's did no one think this through?
When Chuck Norris is using the broken Perrier bottle to cut the rope, you can see as he's pulling his hand away from that stake, there's easily enough room for him just to slip his hand out of there. Yeah. There's so much gap in that rope. It's like maybe shoot it from a different angle or something.
Yeah.
But Chuck Norris squeezed the bottle and broke it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I don't think
you're missing the.
Is this where all the memes? These are the movies where these memes came from, right?
I'm assuming so that he could do anything. Yeah, he's.
I mean, this among 100. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's just a scream and a laugh.
Just scream.
All right, and I guess no one screamed. So I know why I thought that was a scream, because here's Lou Gossett Jr. screaming right there. That's when he thought he had a bug in his pants or something.
Oh sure.
Oh yeah.
Some crawling up the leg, and we never get it. We never get a payoff on that.
That's right.
Check in the
bucket. I was curious about that. Like, was that something that he improv that was actually happening, and they just kept it? I wasn't sure.
I think it was one of these.
Grab a bucket.
I think it was a chick in the bucket. They don't.
We never the whole movie. We never get a payoff on most of the jokes.
Yeah.
No.
Big agree. Here's Lou Gossett Jr. laughing. Ha 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 ha. Also hated that. Here's some great logic about bears and Bigfoot. This is amazing. I feel like there are too many people who think this way, but here you go.
There are no bears in the Himalayas, so it must be Bigfoot.
Give me a break.
I like it.
Also, his delivery,
dude. There's that perfect example of his delivery, his line delivery.
Yeah, it's
there's no bears in the Himalayas.
And I just want to correct Chuck Norris. There are bears in the Himalayas.
Yeah, of course there are.
The Himalayan brown bear is named the Himalayan brown bear.
Yeah, but it is the way of the white man. We don't know shit, so we make it up and then stick to it. What is this nonsense? I wrote.
Okay.
The ricochet.
That is supposed to be one shot that's bouncing around while they hide from it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
I love the fact that they're showing their heads moving like they're actually able to watch this bullet.
Yeah, like it's a tennis match. Like they're at freaking Wimbledon watching this ball fly around. Give me a break. That really took me out. All right, here's all the things they have.
Okay, we've got gold, human sacrifice, the dagger, and the sun.
Gin.
We're playing poker or whatever.
I know. I love this checklist. All right, let's see.
Name things you find in an abandoned castle.
Yep.
There's a reason why this is on Freevee. I'm just saying.
Oh, is it on? Is that where I saw it on Prime without commercials? I assume it's on.
Well,
both.
right. Freevee's owned by Prime. I think we established.
Yeah,
correct?
we did.
It's also on Pluto TV, probably with ads.
Yeah, the Prime version.
That may be a good break for you.
If you have Prime and you watch it there. Well, I have a blocker on, so maybe I'm supposed to have ads.
I'm sorry. When you say there's a reason this is on Prime or whatever, I found myself questioning it the entire time. Like, who paid $1 for the rights to stream this? Like,
yeah, it does seem.
I was saying Freevee is what I was saying.
Yeah, Freevee, which is Prime's commercial supported thing. Right. It's like Pluto or Tubi or whatever.
I'm saying like somebody actually called up an advertiser and said, "Hey, we're looking for you to give me $32 for us to run ads for the next 6 months."
I'm pretty sure they don't name what movie.
I think
we're going to put you in a package.
Yeah, it's a bulk. I think it's a bulk rate thing. It's like we've got these Canon films. There's about 12 from this era, and that's what you're paying for.
Yeah,
I think.
And then they rattle off a few of the good Canon films, and they bypass the firewall.
Whatever was paid, whoever got $1 for streaming this movie, it was too much.
I don't know. He needed to buy those sweet veneers he has now, so he's still got to get that cash. That guy's got veneers to Mars and back.
Oh, right. Chuck Norris still alive. He's getting residuals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, right.
And if you look at his teeth, I may get veneers one day, right? My doctor
said, if they look that good, I'm in.
My dentist said you may want to go that direction because these two teeth are weird. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see when we get there.
Thanks, doc.
And the reason I say that is because whenever I see older people, especially in Hollywood, who have raisined out pretty good, he's looking real, and that's fine. It's what natural age does. But then those veneers start to look like you just barely stuck them in. Yeah, they don't belong to you. Yeah. They're somebody else's teeth. I don't like it. Bugs me. Anyway, I'd rather see somebody go, all right, coffee drinker, look at you, a little bit yellow this time of your life. It's normal. That's what you should have.
So you want yellow veneers.
I want it to match. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Why go with bright white? I know they can do colors because when they did my crown, they said, all right, we're going to go a little off-white here because that's how your teeth are.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that one bit. They said, we're going to go off-white, and then they showed it to me. I'm like, my teeth are that dark. I'm like, whiten them. Do it.
Yeah,
whiten them all.
Whiten them all. I did get one that was a little too white, this crown. And so you can tell I open my mouth, and you're like, one of these teeth is not like the other.
One of these teeth came from somewhere else now.
Yep. Came from Chuck Norris's face. All right. That plane landing sound you hear in all movies ever. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed the plane landing scene with him sleeping and it being, the pilot coming back with a parachute and looking out that was cute.
Yep.
I enjoyed it.
Here's a line I could not take seriously.
Stop acting like a dadgum sissy.
Dadgum
sissy. What's your deal? It's like, you sound like a sissy. Or however, I don't know how we used to define the word sissy, but, I have ideas.
Gum is probably part of that.
Mm-hmm. Here is Mr. Pitt from Seinfeld.
Not bloody likely. You'll be shot on sight. The government isn't letting anyone in without official clearance.
I don't know if that dude's real accent is that, but
I'm so glad you posted that because watching the movie, I was taking notes and I was like, I got to look up who that guy is because I know he's familiar. And then you put Mr. Pitt. I'm like, of course he's Mr. Pitt.
Yeah, Mr. Pitt yelling at Elaine.
Untimely end.
Yeah. Oh, did he? Oh, the character did. Yeah.
Yeah, the character.
Yeah, the actor I know passed some years ago, but he was great in Seinfeld. One of the greatest, tertiary
Bosses,
characters ever.
Goofy bosses, yeah.
Yeah, so good. Okay, this was second place for the what grossed me out. It's the nasty spit noise that the big guy in the bar made, and I'll just play it. I mean, that dripped for days.
Right.
Yeah. Gross. I don't like that stuff. Okay. Oh, this line.
I thought nuns were supposed to be virgins.
I thought nuns were supposed to be virgins.
I want to know from the nuns. What?
Yeah, what would the... Well, I mean...
I don't think you have to be virgins, right? I think you take a vow of celibacy. I don't think it
you just have to start
being previous...
Yeah, you just have to start being celibate at that point.
Previous.
I think. Could be totally wrong.
I like the word previous a lot.
Previously.
Previously.
None of your business is previously.
Yeah, it's previously on Lost. All right. Here's that stupid prayer thing, and I hate it.
Ask me, this is all your old fay, you stupid Earth J. Amen.
Amen.
Why did he have to do it again at the end? Why did he have to?
You gotta. Do
By the way, Upidstay is the Pig Latin form of.
I know. I said the same thing.
Yeah.
Stupid A. I thought the same thing. I was like, that's not. Pig
Did
Latin.
they think that people weren't going to understand?
How Upidstay do you think I am?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, that made me laugh. That made me cough because I can't stop coughing when I laugh. That's funny. Stupid A is what you'd say when you're trying not to say ass in front of your mom.
Right. Such a stupid A.
Yeah, quit being such a stupid A.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right. What is with this soundtrack? Terrible.
I can play that on the Casio, no problem.
I was going to say. Really bad. All right. Look, we found an indie actor.
I always said you were too pretty for jungle work, Max.
Corky?
Why is his name Quirky?
Quirky.
Quirky?
I couldn't tell what he said. I was like, did he say Corky? Corky.
C-O-C? No, I looked at the
Corky,
C-O-R-K-Y.
Like Corky. Like the kid from Our House or whatever that was called with Wilford Brimley. Right. All right, what is this accent he's using?
I kicked some butts over in Africa for a while until the money ran out.
How'd you get here?
Flying champs.
It was fading in and out.
They're all over the place.
And I love him. He's Gimli.
Yeah.
Freaking Gimli.
And they're kind of traveling the world. It's okay. Like he sounds Welsh normally. Just let him sound Welsh.
Just have him. There's zero reason you needed to make him an American, whatever. Welsh would have been fine. I wanted him to say bad dates, hee, but he didn't do it. Take a bath. Oh, wait. What? What is it? Okay, here it is.
I'm going to take a bath.
No, you're not.
Wow.
You know when he was so later there was like a montage where they're kind of loving on, not making out, but like touching foreheads and smiling, and then Iron Eagle goes missing, and Lou Gossett Jr. That is, I couldn't think of his name, and then suddenly he is the meanest boyfriend of all time, and it's not just because his friend's missing. He changes, like. It reminded me of those people who are like, well, before I married him, I didn't know what he was like. And then on our honeymoon, he turned into a psycho. That's what that felt like to me. I didn't like it. And I don't know if there's something on set or a cut scene or something, but he went from Mr. Lovey-Dovey to Mr. just jack-and-ape a-hole butthole to her. And it made me mad. I was like, come on, Firewalker, or freaking Chuck Norris. What are you doing, Charles?
Mm-hmm.
Jerk.
There are a bunch of terrible edits, especially in caves where people are like moving, like because like they're moving to one side or they're jumping, and then in the edit they're suddenly running.
Yeah,
it's just like
or this coyote guy with his eye patch that kept jumping eyes.
Yeah,
they could not get that straight. All right. There's the final one. Very strange sound by Chuck Norris with that big kick at the end that finally took out Coyote. And it's a very strange sound and it cuts off weird. So here it is.
Love it. Slow motion, screamy.
Isn't that weird? Really weird.
Love it.
I don't like it. All right, Firewalker.
Firewalker!
All right. Let's get to the film sack checklist. Drinking with the guy that was going to take off your head earlier that day. Check. That happened. Bad dates, check. And finally, a reminder that somehow Louis Gossett Jr. was an Academy Award winner, check. Star Trek Connections, got to think there's at least some here.
We've talked about John Rhys Davies many times before because he has a cameo in an episode of Star Trek Voyager as Leonardo da Vinci. I'll give you two more. Branscombe Richmond, who was in Commando, which we sacked, and was in Hard to Kill, which we haven't sacked yet. Branscombe Richmond was his cast name is, I swear to God, Mexican bar fight person. He was in The Search for Spock, Star Trek 3.
Wow.
He was a Klingon.
Mexican bar fight person? That's terrible.
Fighting off.
That's awful. Jeez.
And then we have Ian Abercrombie, you were just talking about a couple minutes ago, as Boggs, generic older white guy who's balding. He was in Star Trek Voyager. He played the Abbot in the 5th season episode Someone to Watch Over Me. He played Milo in the 6th season episode Spirit Folk. Oh. And he did ADR voiceover for Jeremy Kemp in the Star Trek The Next Generation 4th season episode Family.
Really?
And again, this is Elaine's boss, Mr. Pitt.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know you were. Who would have thought he was so deep into the Trek business?
Kidding.
I had no idea.
Yeah, especially after he accidentally dressed up like Hitler with a smudge stash.
It was so good.
How do you come back from that?
That was an amazing episode. It was so good.
Great.
I loved it.
Poland Springs.
Yeah. The whole point was that he was annexing Poland in the spring.
Yeah. And he's like, our stock prices will go higher. And put his hand up like
exactly.
I love that so much.
Yeah, he's all over Star Trek.
He's great. All right, well done. Let's move on to the the soundtrack grade. I'd give it a G for garbage. It's just bad. It gets no points, really.
Yeah.
It's that bad. It's really bad. Social media post. You guys sum things up in 280 characters or less, and I believe this week it is Randy's turn to start.
A Firewalker haiku. Brightly light the cave. Fight a massive eye-patched thug. Slow-mo roundhouse kick.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Nice.
But how come the roundhouse kick had to sound like this? It sounds like he got hit and killed in the middle of yelling.
Yeah.
I don't like it. All right. Nicely done. Let's now move on down the road to Brian Dunaway, please.
Firewalker, fruitcake. Listen, bucko, I happen to be a highly intelligent in movie. No, you're a stupid day. Hashtag I don't know any Latin.
Nicely done. Hey, finally, Brian Ibbett.
Firewalker. 48 hours spent romancing the Raiders of Running Scared.
Nice.
Running Scared. I thought about Running Scared a lot while I watched this. I was like, I think you would probably like this. Okay.
I thought about Lethal Weapon 2, and then I'm like, well, no, I came out a year after this, so I can't really say that inspired this. But
that was great.
Yeah.
You make me want to. Every once in a while, this will come up, or you'll do the voice or whatever, and I'll just get in the mood for Running Scared.
Oh, yeah, I know. I love that film.
The movie's really great.
What?
Underrated by most people.
Is this a detective?
Every time I hear it. And it's actually one of my least favorite things in the movie, but it makes me want to see it.
Yeah. You're appreciative of it.
Yeah, that's true. Let's do this now. Where are we now? Oh, alternate titles. Man, these are crazy. These were just handed to me. Someone already stole it earlier. I think it was Dunaway in his intro, but Firewalker, Texas Ranger was just about the title. Or Indiana Jones and the Iron Eagle. It sounded right to me at the time. Anyway, let's get to a phone call that we got from a listener at 801-471-0462. This is a listener who has things to say about a recommendation they have.
Hey, it's Goff, Ryan, and Brandy. This is Miles, an avid Film Sack listener since Pro.
Pause for a second. He did say Brian, Ryan, and Brandy.
I think he said Brian, Ryan, and Dandy. I'll play it again.
Okay.
Let's listen to calls.
Hey, it's Goff, Ryan, and Brandy.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Perfect.
Anyway, here what Miles goes on to say.
This is Miles, an avid Film Sack listener since Pro, and before that, The Instant.
Wow.
I have a great recommendation for you guys because I just watched it, and oh boy, it's called Deep Rising. It's a 1998 film full of a bunch of actors that'll make you go, hey, I know that person. I saw them somewhere. Highly recommend it. It's got CGI effects post Jurassic Park, which I'm sure will throw Scott into a tizzy. And yeah, cannot recommend it enough. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Treat Williams, Famke Janssen, Anthony Heald. We know him.
I thought we watched this.
Wes Studi. No,
we did too.
you're thinking of deep. So you've got two things going on. You've got Deep Impact, which is familiar,
Deep Blue Sea,
and
Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah,
so
there's a
deep,
bunch of
put
those.
my butt to sleep. Yeah, I know.
And Treat Williams somehow falls into this, but we have not seen it, and we should.
The bit roles. It's an amazing list of players. Cliff Curtis is in this. Jaimon Hansu is in this.
Oh, wow.
Clifton Powell is in this.
Oh my God. The tagline is full scream ahead.
Oh shit.
That's perfect.
And
it looks like Ghost Ship. I'm down.
Oh my gosh. Famke Janssen's name is Trillian St. James. That's cool.
Excellent.
I watched this recently by myself, I guess, because I've seen this.
Oh, Cliff Curtis. I love Cliff Curtis.
Yeah, he's great in first season of Fear the Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Great in everything, really. That guy
he really is.
Something about his presence.
And he's Kiwi, isn't he? He's New Zealand?
He is from, hold on, it's right here. You are correct. He is from the Te Aura tribal affiliation in New Zealand. He's a Maori descended dude.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of that I saw recently? Oh, Sunshine. I love him in Sunshine. It's not recent, but
okay.
We saw that here. He's awesome. Oh my gosh, let's watch that guy do everything. I'm in Deep Impact Rising C.
Deep Rising.
Okay.
Deep Rising. That's all it is. 1998. Treat Williams. Remember when he had a career?
He's a treat.
Yeah.
He was a treat. What else do we even know him from?
Now on Prime Video, apparently. No, for renting. For renting? Yes.
Are we renting? Oh man, I want a streamy stream.
Streamy streams.
We'll watch for it. All right. Well, thank you for that. I'd like to also mention some brand new patrons this week at patreon.com/filmsack. Mike Sazka, I think is how you say it. James D. and Ben McCracken. Brand new folks joining us this week. They never get any commercials. They get pre-show content every week. They get this amazing host special Dunaway just put up last week. And we love doing those, so check those out. Also, movie-related art prints in the mail, other great monthly benefits that you can go learn about today at patreon.com/filmsack. Sign up today and help support your favorite film show since 2009. Our next movie's gonna be... is that a round table? I can't remember. What
yes,
do we...
Yes,
Okay,
we got a round table for you next week to wrap up September, and then we're getting started in October. I took Brian Dunaway really, really seriously before the show, and I've decided for us that our first Sacktober movie is going to be Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
This is brilliant.
Oh, it's great. I'm in.
Matt McConaughey, yes.
Yeah, I'm all in, dude. That's great. I've never seen this one. I've seen the first and second one and never 3 or 4. Does 3 even exist? I guess 3 exists, right?
Yes, it does. 3 exist. Actually, I think...
It's not like Windows 9 or...
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Skip over it.
Yeah, it's weird.
I watched... we were talking about it yesterday. I had seen... I thought I'd seen Leatherface, that more recent one, in the last 5 whatever years. And actually what I had seen was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D.
Oh.
And so I haven't seen the latest one, apparently.
I've seen the latest, and it's actually not bad. I liked it. It's
3D was good.
It's different, but the recent Leatherface one is okay. It's all right. It's got that lady we like in it, whose name I cannot recall. But she's great. We must like her so much we don't remember her name.
Yeah, she must be real good.
Yeah,
she's real good.
Excellent. All right, that's going to do it for us. Filmsack.com is the website. You'll find everything there that you need. Okay, so don't come begging me somewhere else for it. It's right there. Filmsack.com. That'll do it for us, for me, for Brian, and for Randy.
So, gentlemen, we meet again.
We'll see you next time.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.